Well, the deficiency comes in later on in our life. It doesn't happen when you're born. So as you start aging, around about 30, 35-ish, depending on what your eating habits are, your drinking habits are, where you stay in the world, pollution exposure, sun exposure, your levels are the need for glutathione actually starts increasing as we age or stays the same, either way. But our body's ability to produce glutathione slightly reduces starting the about age of 30-ish, right? And there's a slight mismatch. How much your body needs versus what you can produce. There's a slight mismatch on how much there is. The gap between how much your body needs versus how much your body can produce.
Welcome to another episode of the Matter Over Mind Experience. I'm your host, Master Trainer and Weight Management Expert, Narado Zico Powell. And I have another, because you know your boy delivers. I bring the best guest on, and I have another one for you today. Dr. Nayan Patel, a renowned pharmacist, health consultant, and founder of Aura Wellness. And guess what we're going to talk about today? Glutathione, the powerful antioxidant. Some can say, and the doctor can correct me, the most powerful antioxidant. It's like a super antioxidant, so good for your health. And we have so much to teach you today. Actually, I don't have anything to teach you. Dr. Patel has so much to teach you about glutathione today. And with that being said, Dr. Patel, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me today, Zico.
I'm glad you're here, my friend. And with that being said, everybody knows I like to jump into the deep end. So let my audience know, what is glutathione and why is it so important?
You just said it was antioxidant, but that's just one of the properties. Glutathione is a tripeptide. It's a three amino acid chains coming together that your body produces most abundantly in every human being. So the number one molecule in every human being on this planet is glutathione. The question is always is everybody's mind. Well, if your body produces so much of it, that means we must be needing this a lot. It's like, do you drink water every single day? Can you stay without the water even 1 or 2 days? I said, how long can you stay without water? Same thing with glutathione. It is as important as water, if not more, because it is an integral part in every cell in your body.
So with that being said, like you said, if our body naturally produces it, how do we become deficient in glutathione?
Well, the deficiency comes in later on in our life. It doesn't happen when you're born. So as you start aging, around about 30, 35-ish, depending on what your eating habits are, your drinking habits are, where you stay in the world, pollution exposure, sun exposure, your levels are the need for glutathione actually starts increasing as we age or stays the same, either way. But our body's ability to produce glutathione slightly reduces starting the about age of 30-ish, right? And there's a slight mismatch. How much your body needs versus what you can produce. There's a slight mismatch on how much there is. The gap between how much your body needs versus how much your body can produce gets bigger and bigger as we age. And that's where the onset of all the problem starts. The question's always been, it's not that the body cannot produce it, but as we age, it slowly start declining, and the declining levels of glutathione actually amplifies the problems in our body.
So then what, well, of course we talk about around age 30, which I'm way past that at this point. Maybe the levels may start to decrease, right? But what are some signs of glutathione deficiency? And in your experience, at what stage does it become dangerous?
So it can become dangerous at any stage. So let's see if you have kids that have deficiency in glutathione, that they cannot produce glutathione at all. They show up on spectrum disorder, right? Autism, Asperger's. I mean, there's all kinds of symptoms. Not every one of them have this issue with glutathione deficiency, but that's one of the issues that you can feel early on that, hey, oh my God, that's an issue. A lot of people, when the young kids get sick all the time, right? What they have is an impaired glutathione levels. Uh, People with metabolic disorders have impaired glutathione levels, and so there are issues, the conditions that we know of it, and we cannot pinpoint this thing down because there's not one thing that causes this major illnesses in our life. So fast forward to, let's say you're 30 years of age right now, what can I notice to see that, hey, is my levels dropping or not? So the question that I ask is always on the other end, because glutathione being an antioxidant, its number one job is to reduce oxidative stress. And that one, you can measure oxidative stress in your blood. You can measure MDA, which is the malonaldehyde levels. The doctor can actually know what your oxidative stress markers are, which is your cholesterols and your sugars and insulins and things like that. And they measure this all the time, and they'll tell you, oh, your oxidative stress level is too much. Everybody has a little bit. Every human being on this planet has a little bit of oxidative stress. It's not too much. If it gets too much, starting at the age of 30-ish, you start getting creepy forgetfulness. Well, oxygen, your brain consumes 20% of all oxygen you breathe in. So the highest amount of oxygen stress is in your brain. So if your brain gets lethargic and tired, you're not sleeping as good as you used to be before, right? And then it goes inside your body. Your body is not energetic, or you're getting creepy forgetfulness, or you started getting a little fatigue all over the body. Uh, in itself, it's nothing. It is absolutely nothing, right? Because I say, oh, I'm just getting old. That's excuse we all give us ourselves. Oh, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so I cannot do like what you guys did when you were 20 years of age. But all these things is just matter of time, and when it catches up to you. And that's the antioxidant benefits, right? The second benefits of glutathione also includes with detoxification benefits. That's what glutathione is known for. It helps detoxify your liver, your body, your lungs, your kidneys, and every single thing, your gut, your stomach. I mean, it's an amazing thing, right? So now, if you don't do that, what happens? Your body gets clogged up inside, right? You started getting some spots on your face, on your arms. Say, oh, what is this? Oh, I got some age spots. I'm only 35. How do I age spots at 35? Well, your body needs some cleaning, some deep cleaning inside. And so you can start seeing some signs and symptoms of these kinds. Unless you work with the physicians, they can really figure out, hey, what's your immune system like? What is your metabolic system like? What's your endocrine system like? And that's when people start noticing changes. And the last thing is one more thing, Zico. I'm sorry. The last thing is athletes, right? Athletes, as they start getting age, the recovery time post workout is less and less. And so they need a lot more glutathione. Sorry.
No, I love that, and I'm glad you touched on athlete piece. I'll never rush you. You're the expert. Trust me. I'm here. I'm listening, and I'm learning a lot here. And I myself am an athlete, so and I do realize that I do have to make some changes to my recovery because I'm over the age of 40, right? So I definitely do see that as well. And glutathione is one of the supplements that I do have in my recovery bag, by the way. Now, with that being said, though, let's talk a little bit more about the natural production because we're going to talk towards the end. You're going to give us some ideas about supplementation. But before we get there, let's talk about the body. Are there any natural things that we can do? I'm guessing quality sleep is one of them to improve our body's production of glutathione.
So, as I said earlier, your body has an innate ability to produce for the rest of its life. So, if you do the correct things, supplementation becomes like tertiary, not even secondary, right? It's not necessary. So, here's the thing. As I said earlier, glutathione is made of three amino acids: glutamine, glycine, and cysteine. All you have to remember is cysteine because everything else is abundantly found in most of the food you eat on a daily basis. Cysteine is kind of something that you have to look for it, right? So if you put in a favorite search engine, cysteine-rich foods, you can get your vegan choices, your vegetarian choices, your carnivore choices, all the choices you have available. Pick some foods that you like to eat and make that part of your daily routine, that you're going to have at least 1 or 2 servings a day of that particular food, which has cysteine rich foods. If you have enough cysteine in your diet, your body can actually produce abundant of glutathione on a daily basis. Now, what happens is that okay, so that's one choice, right? The second choice is, before I go to the problems, let me go to the solutions first. The second solution is that reduce your exposure to toxins, the known toxins, right? If sun is an issue, right, go in the sun for 10, 15 minutes, but then the rest of the day, cover your body up. right? Wear long sleeves clothes, wear a cap, wear sunglasses, whatever, whatnot, to cover the body, because that can also deplete a lot of glutathione. Alcohol can deplete a lot of glutathione, right? And so, even though it's a guilty pleasure, we all know that it's not good for a body. We all know that part. I drink it myself because even though I know it's not good for me, and so I limit myself. I limit myself very, very little, maybe a couple of drinks a month sometimes, if by all possible. And some weekends I'll probably have two drinks in the one weekend, right? It all depends on what's happening. But I try to limit myself, and if I cannot limit myself for that one weekend, I'm going to double or triple up my dose on glutathione because I know my body is depleted for that particular day. So avoid the known poisons or known toxins to do that. So if you do those two things, eat cysteine-rich foods and avoid the poisons or avoid exposure to toxic chemicals, heavy metals, sun exposures, or whatever. If you can do those two things, your need for glutathione is going to reduce dramatically, and your body will keep up with the demand.
I want to ask you something because you about the sun exposure. Because in my practice, one of the things I do teach individuals, especially with quality sleep, is exposing themselves to sun, especially in the morning. Not necessarily when it's particularly scorching hot in the middle of the day, but do getting morning sun to reset your circadian rhythm. So I want to kind of make sure we address that. We're not telling people don't go out there in the sun because also you also need the vitamin D levels, which you may want to increase as well. Am I thinking correctly on that, dear doctor?
Absolutely. So there are two types of sunrise: the morning and the evening, right? The dawn and the dusk. That's amazing. That's the best part of the sun because it's not burning your skin. It's just giving you enough energy to actually the morning sun rejuvenates glutathione levels in your body. But then as the day goes by, that scorching heat actually depletes the glutathione levels. So it's not a good idea, right? Like low levels of water is good for it nourishes your body, but if you drink too much of water, it depletes sodium and potassium out of your body. So having the right amount is very, very critical. So typically, if you're in the morning sun, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour is okay, right? But after that morning sun passes on, it gets really hot. That is basically is very
Because it's
damaging.
more for stress. That makes a lot of sense. And thank you so much for clarifying that, doctor, because I don't want someone to say, well, Zico and Dr. Patel said, don't go out in the sun. And then we have a whole nother problem within itself, right? And with that being said, we talk about the natural stuff. I really want to get into supplementation. Like I think in a lot of cases, we do need to supplement, and Dr. Patel is going to drop that knowledge. But before we do that, I want to talk about one of my favorite supplements. And now we're talking about glutathione. I'm talking about Heal, an essential amino acid formulation. Everybody knows I love Heal. It's 100% science backed, right? It's designed to reduce recovery times, improve physical function, accelerate muscle repair, while helping you to maintain a healthy inflammatory response. And the beautiful thing about Heal is not just branch chain, it's essential amino acids. So basically, all the chains that your body needs. I love Heal, and it has creatine and whey protein concentrate. And because it's in that package, your body can utilize it to bang through your workout. It can help you recover. I told you I'm over the age of 40, and you know when I train, I go hard in the paint, and Heal helps me recover. Absolutely love this stuff, and I know that you will love this stuff too. The net balance whole protein synthesis and breakdown were measured with whey protein, right? And the response to Heal was found to be 3 times larger than whey protein on a gram to gram basis. In fact, I won't say the brand, but it was high quality whey protein, and Heal was found to be 3 times larger. I've been using this stuff now for a couple of years. I absolutely, everybody that's used it have told me, wow, this stuff is amazing. And we're talking about cysteine. Well, guess what? It's one of the amino acids in Heal, right? Which helps your body to produce more glutathione, help you to recover better. And that's why I'm glad that we're talking about this in this episode right now. And if you go to aminoco.com/ZecoHealth, you will get a 30% discount off their wonderful products. Heal, Perform, which I also use, and I'll make sure that the link is in the description of the episode. And with that being said, we're back to the doctor because we're talking about supplements and we talk about the natural stuff, some of the stuff to avoid. But let's say we're moving to supplements now, doctor. What are some of your best recommendations for supplementation?
Well, it's to supplement glutathione. It wasn't easy, and I'm going to go over the history of supplementation for glutathione because that is very important to be able to understand that everything that's out there works to a certain extent. Nothing is bad, right? Nothing is so bad that it doesn't work, but you should know what you're getting into. So, glutathione is known for 140 years. Uh, and in the last 30, 40 years, we have been trying to supplement with glutathiones. FDA has only actually approved NAC as a drug to improve glutathione levels. That's the only thing that has been approved by FDA. So that's just so you should know that part. And over the last 30, 40 years, people have used different technologies to introduce glutathione into the body. So oral capsules that are out there. Then there's this liposomal technology product that can bypass your stomach and absorbs it better. And I'll go with that one as well. The third thing is the intravenous form of glutathione that you can get through an IV bar or local doctor's offices. They're doing all these different forms. And then our technology that we have developed, which is a topical form of glutathione. So what has to happen is that liposome forms or the intravenous form of the oral forms, all the glutathione that's out there in the marketplace today, every one of them, 100%, will get destroyed by the stomach, will get destroyed by the body, will get destroyed by your by your kidneys when you inject in your blood stream. It gets into your kidneys and destroys it out. Everything gets destroyed, but then the body reabsorbs the amino acid that's been destroyed too. So then the amino acid gets reabsorbed. The amino acid is getting used to produce glutathione again. So even though you still get the response of glutathione increasing, it's not because the body is absorbing it, but the body is breaking down, absorbing the amino acids, and making glutathione again. Guess what? Save your money, get the cysteine molecule, and you should be okay. Well, most of the people are okay. Now, what happens is that as you age, your demands are increasing. The body cannot produce. You can take as much cysteine as you want, but your body is not going to keep up with the demand. If that's the case, that's where I started my research back in 1999, working on this technology. In 2007, we discovered a novel way of introducing glutathione through your skin, preserving the integrity of the glutathione that doesn't get broken down, get through your skin. And then it was too early on for me to release the product. It was way too early because there was no literature in the whole world talk about glutathione, how it can be used up if it's not denatured. And so I started to do my own clinical trials, went for patent applications because 7 patents already approved for USPTO, China, Japan, and other parts of the world. And so we had to figure out what to do with this molecule. So for 13 more years goes by for doing my research, wrote my book called The Glutathione Revolution, all my findings, and then I launched the product 4 years ago. As I launched the product is a topical version. We even figured out how much to use, how often to use, when to use it, how long you can use it to get the results you're looking for. That's why we're talking today, Zico, is that, hey, now we have figured out that there's no guesswork remaining now. Because if you ask and say, hey, how much IVs do I take? Oh, my doctor gave me a 1 gram of IV push. Oh, I take 600 milligrams. I take 2 grams. Or somebody says, oh, but for Parkinson's patients, you can go up to 10 grams of IV push of glutathione. The milligrams are all over the place on how much to use it. But you can only use as much as your body can accept it and improve the levels. That's all you can use, right? And that's one number only, right? There's only one number. So we had to figure out how do I get that number? And if I can figure out that number, how to get it consistently on every single patient day in, day out, that was the dose. So our product is called Glutaril. I'm sorry, it's a very chemical name because I'm not that smart to create a better name than this. So I give a chemical name to it, Glutaril. It's a topical version of glutathione, and you apply 4 sprays, gives you about 100 milligrams, and that is enough to literally help your glutathione levels. Now, it can help a young kid, an adult, and anybody, because at the end of the day, human beings are, besides the size, we're all the same, right? So the needs are about the same. So that's the product that we have. And we've been doing research for a very, very, very long time before we actually launch a product to the public.
So with that being said, Doc, let's top it off. Let's top it off and tell my audience, how can they obtain more of your products? Is it sold on Amazon? Is it Where is it? Is there a website?
So we have a website called aurowellness.com, AURO wellness.com. That's the only place it's available online. It's through my website. I do have a lot of physicians that do have this available to their customers or their patients. So you can, if one of your physicians that you go to has this product available, you can purchase from them. Otherwise, there will be no health food stores or any of the non-professional places that will have they should have the stock of this product. It's only on my website or the professional offices.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'll make sure the website are in the show notes, which will be in the description of the podcast, because you know I try to be a nice guy. And with that being said, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Learn about glutathione and the benefits of it. And go out there, live your best life, fam.